What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great and powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Tonight's brew is from Hourglass Brewing. It is the Trash Tanuki. Tanuki?
Tanuki. Yeah.
Tanuki.
Like the Mario Tanuki suit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Looks like a panda.
I didn't put that together.
Actually isn't a panda.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Tanuki is not panda.
What is Tanuki?
Or panda, what am I saying?
A squirrel?
Raccoon.
A raccoon.
Not a raccoon.
A raccoon. What is
Tanukis
it?
are not raccoons.
Wait, a Tanuki is a thing?
A Tanuki is a thing. It's an animal that looks like a raccoon in Japan. Yeah, we're all over the place. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah. It's like I think they call them raccoon dogs. Yeah.
Raccoon dog.
Raccoon dog.
Well, I'll just let you tell the story about this when we come back.
Okay.
Because that'll be a little bit more after the break. What's on tap for tonight? Okay, so it took less than 12 hours. And when you guys hear this, it's going to be obviously a little bit where everybody will have already been back on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, sharing your memes and filming your own faces and
doing this forever and ever.
Right.
Ever and
the
ever.
doom scrolling. So we're a little behind the eight ball on this one, but just from our point of view, we record an episode talking about the TikTok ban.
Yeah.
And then before I can even pull the video back up to start editing it,
Yeah.
it was already back.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. The whiplash of that 12-hour span.
Correct.
And then what else we got?
We also have Drizzy Drakesler back in the news. Drake himself, Aubrey Graham, kind of doing a flip-flop on his plans to seek legal mitigation based on his recent beef with Kendrick Lamar. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, some of the fallout, and why it seems like he can't get out of his own way.
And then, if we have a little bit more time, we'll explore some other stuff. We got some stuff in the can
We'll
just
see,
in
we'll
case.
see,
We'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at. But otherwise, we can't do anything else until we get into these brewskis and get into the show proper. So let's crack these cans open and welcome everyone back to episode 449. We're so close to 450 of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4
Hey man, figuring new stuff out.
Just
Tad bit easier.
Always be learning.
Always be learning.
Let's clink these babies up. How about that? Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, this is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. My name is Marco. That's Adam. Let's get rocking. You want to tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
Boy, I would love to. This is the Trashed Tanuki. It is a salted caramel peanut butter porter from Hourglass Brewing, and there is a small cold read that goes as follows. Trashed Tanuki. Porter brewed with salted caramel and peanut butter in our bartender collaboration series to celebrate Jasmine. And actually, there's a bit more on Untapped, so I'm going to read theirs as well. Brewed in collaboration with the one and only, quote, Jazzy, as a part of our bartender collab series. This peanut butter salted caramel porter is rich and complex while also maintaining the perfect fireside crushability.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a planned for the winter in particular. So
Yeah, and it's cool that Hourglass is doing this series with their bartenders. I don't know Jazzy personally, so
Yeah.
shout out to Jazzy.
sure, yeah.
Before I give a rating, which obviously you know the ratings at the end, but I do like the idea of a salted caramel peanut butter porter. So if the idea was the bartender kind of picks the style and flavor, Good job.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
choice.
Smart. I like the, you'll see the art on social media, obviously, but there's kind of spoofs of big time brands in the trash can,
Yeah. Yeah. that's
including
pretty
a Jif peanut butter can that says Biff,
Biff.
which I like.
fun. Biff peanut butter.
It's fun. It's fun.
Never mind.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do this.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Tic Tac.
Tic Tac.
Yep.
You know, the app that everyone thought was going away.
Right. We talked about it last episode, actually.
And we took bets
We did.
on what would happen.
Yeah.
Did we actually put any money on it?
We didn't.
Okay.
It was a friendly. It was a handshake bet.
Okay.
But yeah. So you want to say what you thought was going to happen? If you remember.
I don't really remember.
Okay.
I said that it was going to come back after the right. That's what I said. Something about like Trump would bring it back and use it as a Well, I guess I was sort of right. I was half right.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be gone for longer. I did think it was going to have to at least be gone for like 30 days or something like that for them to give them an extension.
Make the people want it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I dare I say won the bet by suggesting it would go away for maybe a day.
Yeah.
And then immediately come back because Trump would go, don't worry about it. We're not going to actually prosecute anyone for continuing to have it on their app store.
Well, ironically,
or
that's
have it
what
themselves.
that's what the Biden administration said.
Yeah.
That's what they were like. We are punting it to the next administration. We're not going to prosecute anybody. We're not going to do anything about it.
Right. You guys decide on what to do. But the way it's been framed has, of course, been, Daddy Trump came in and saved the day.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracies about how this all happened.
Sure.
And the time frame of it is a little weird.
A little suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention the fact that, our memories are so short because a lot of people don't remember Trump's the one who initiated this entire situation to begin with.
Right.
Not to say people's minds can't change over time, but it's just kind of funny that he's now heralding this return of TikTok as like his own first win, essentially, of his.
Right. And it's not like there was anything different from when he first initiated this, when they all signed it bipartisan, almost unanimously.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then when Biden signed it, nothing's changed. It's not like they've sold or even said that they will sell.
No. Now, we should be clear right now. Let me be clear. Trump basically just kicked the can a little bit further down the road.
Yeah.
So it's not officially unbanned. It's just the decision will be saved for a different date, by which time we can assume, some billionaire is going to be in the pocket. Somebody will have made the money that allows it to be safe, air quotes, safe for American consumption.
Yeah. I mean, there's already a bunch of billionaires. I shouldn't say a bunch, but there's been a handful of billionaires who've kind of thrown their hat in the ring.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Kevin O'Leary, that bald-headed, that fuck. He offered $20 million, and people are like, that's not even close to the valuation of the app right now.
You don't have the money, sir.
Yeah. So it gets banned. It gets unbanned. So okay. Here's what happened. Okay, when we recorded our speculations, the app was still live and it was still acting as normal.
It was 2 days before the ban was supposed to happen?
Yeah. So ban goes live, and immediately you're met with a message that says something to the effect of like, TikTok has been banned in the United States. And at first, there was a thing that was like, we are hopeful that we can come to some kind of resolution on this, blah, 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 blah.
We are working with incoming President Trump.
Well, that was after. So there, for a very short time, there was a very generic message. Then it very quickly changed to...
Hey, put my name on it.
Yeah. So that's where the conspiracy... Jesus Christ. This is my first beer today. Conspiracy theories. That's where they started, which was people were going, okay, he's obviously behind the scenes communicating with the TikTok brass.
Yeah.
To try to frame this in a way. And okay, let me first also say this is all speculation. I'm not stating any of this as matter of fact.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know. Obviously, nobody fucking knows what happened. It all just happened so fast.
Well,
and it happened.
small handful of people know what happened.
Well, yeah,
but
right.
Not
but
us.
none of us.
Yeah.
So everything that I'm about to say is all Reddit conspiracy theories.
Sure.
But he's behind the scenes going, okay, now Daddy Trump's here and he's going to save the day. We're going to work on a deal so that you guys are going to be all right. You're not going to have to sell. You'll still be owners and whatnot, and this will be a very quick and easy political win.
Yeah.
For the Trump administration.
Everyone wins.
To save the app. You guys keep you stay alive in the United States. We get a huge political win, and
maybe a buddy of Trump's gets to get a little bit of ching, get a little cut of that sweet TikTok money when it gets sold, or
one of the billionaires comes in and they maybe cut a deal where they don't take complete ownership. Maybe they invest. Maybe maybe it becomes partly owned, partly American owned.
Sure.
And then all that TikTok is spying on you through your phone. All that stuff just goes away.
Disappears.
We just stop worrying and talking about that sort of thing.
Right.
So that was the message. It was basically Daddy Trump's here to save the day. Hopefully we can work on a resolution.
Yeah.
And then within 12 hours, the app just is live.
Yeah.
It's just back.
With a notice that this is all thanks to Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump. Thank you, Trump.
Thank you, Base Trump.
Mm-hmm. He's literally the only reason that this has happened. And now we're back live. And we're hoping that in the future we can, meet a resolution, a more permanent solution. Right?
Yeah.
And that was it. We're back now.
We are so back.
Yeah. And I don't know, kind of changed the landscape of the app a little bit. And the app moves so quickly, and memes and stuff, and the internet moves so quickly that all of this stuff is probably going to be, just in the first season of this Trump administration. It would be like the forgotten episodes. And and when you go back and watch a TV show, you're like, wow, these first couple of episodes really suck.
Yeah, it's like Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Like
that first season, you're like,
what's happening?
I don't know about
Where's
this
Danny
show.
DeVito?
Yeah. That show really, it's not that good in the first.
No, they really had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is notorious for being, I mean, it was almost canceled in the first season because it was so poorly received. I don't think that's how the Trump administration is going to go. I don't think in year 2 all of a sudden it's
just this twist and a new character comes in, and
I mean he's already. I don't even want to. The day one stuff is will live on in infamy, and we're going to be dealing
if we
with
still have history books by that time.
Repercussions, yeah. So let's just continue to talk about TikTok.
Okay.
Instead. What I found really interesting is people's innate need or desire to reveal things that because they think there's not going to be any consequences. Like when people make an alt account or an anonymous account. Anonymous.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with me right
Anonymous.
now. Anonymous account.
Magnanimous.
An anonymous account just to go on a website, or like when people go on Reddit and they're like, and it's like our relationship or am I the asshole? And they tell a story and it's like, yes, man,
you are.
You're a piece of
shit.
shit.
The reason you're afraid of asking with your name on it is because you are.
Yeah, and you know that you are, and you know what you're saying right now.
You were looking for validation or to get it off of your chest.
Right.
That's the only reason why you're adding to this.
So one of the first things, I mean, there was obviously a bunch of people who were crying their eyes out, and there was a lot of people who were begging us to follow them on other platforms, and it was like, no.
I followed one guy.
Yeah?
One guy got me. Complete aside, I'm sorry if I break your train of thought.
No, I'm good.
I'm not good. There's a guy I think his tag is like Vegas wine or something. But I think he is the sommelier for, I want to say, Caesar's Palace or another major Vegas casino and resort. And he has to be wearing like those Ray-Bans with the camera in them. Yeah, because it's all from his POV. But it's him in the back of the restaurant. It's always when somebody orders like an extravagant wine from like 1906 that he's uncorking for the first time in like 10 years. Yeah. And it's all full of silt and stuff. And like it shows him pouring it and decanting it and cleaning it and presenting it to the patron and explaining its history and all this. I'm like, this is fascinating. Yeah. And I want to see more of this. And it could translate perfectly well to YouTube. So I'm like, I'll follow you.
Man, our TikToks are vastly different. I wish I saw that kind of stuff on my TikTok. I built my For You page brick by brick. And they're bad. It's bad. Bad bricks.
Yeah.
Bad bricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah. I mean, there were definitely like comedians that I would have probably made more of a commitment to follow. What's really fucked up is you recognize the faces, but it takes, I guess for me personally, it takes a couple of videos before I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to commit this person's name to memory, or I'm going to follow this page because I've seen enough of their content that I'm like, all right, I want to see more, as opposed to just it popping up and going,
yeah, right.
You know,
well, and that's a function of, I guess, the medium itself of TikTok, because it is so short form, disposable content. Content, like with a capital C, that is content. That's not, film or art. It is content first and foremost.
Well, and that was one of the big issues when Vine imploded. Was there was so many. I followed a shit ton of pages on there. I really, we were all our generation. We were like on that shit. Yeah. So there was a shit ton of comedians and content creators and people that I really thought were funny, but I just didn't commit their names to memory. I just didn't. And then, sometimes you'll see a Vine compilation and you're like, oh, that fucking guy. I wonder what he's up to. Then you got to go through the comments and everybody's asking the same question. Right. It's like, oh, remember that dude? And they're like, oh, he's doing this now. And then you can blah, blah. And you're like, oh, shit. It's very surprising some of the people who've gone on to the kind of success that they've gone on to.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Some of the like YouTube, like Drew Gooden, and I didn't really think that they were good Viners. Yeah, I thought they were kind of boring on there.
That may be the case, but maybe having to branch out into a different forum helped their careers. Yeah, clearly it did.
Well, because I really really Drew specifically. I like his like deep dive. YouTube commentary stuff. Yeah. Like he's very, very smart, very funny. So I don't know. You just never know. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people were kind of expecting this to happen the same way, and then it just didn't. So then you get all these people who, again, to kind of go back to what I was saying, they have this thing in them that like they need to just, it was like for some of these people, it was like sitting in their throat. They're just like, I have to get this out. And then they used the audio of
this Family Guy,
where he's talking about the Godfather.
Well, since we're all going to die in a minute.
It insists upon itself. Which I really like that.
Didn't care for the Godfather.
I did not care for the Godfather. And they're like, what? Did not care for the Godfather. But it's a classic. I know. This is what everyone always says. What didn't you like about it? It insists upon itself. What does that even mean? It insists upon itself. Robert Duvall, great actor, just didn't care for the movie. So they used that to reveal
their deepest, darkest secrets,
which mostly pertained to their content, right? And that they were fooling everybody. And now some people were like legitimately joking, and you could tell that they were using the meme that was going viral to kind of fuck with people. Sure. But some people were truly like, now that I'm not going to have a TikTok, I can just tell you guys, like, I'm not doing... Like, there was a lot of workout content creators who were like, I fake a lot of the workouts. I fake a lot of the diet stuff, and it was just like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, that's my question. If it's not a joke, why would you nuke your entire persona, your entire online persona?
Because
and business.
I'm just as flabbergasted as you. Because yeah, TikTok was important, and I guess continues to be important for these people's business models.
Yeah.
But it's not the only social media.
No, far from it.
And it's also not. It's not the only. If you were somebody who, for instance, got famous for being a workout TikToker, and then you started like booking clients or selling some bullshit detox shake,
yeah,
or even started selling like clothing or whatever you parlayed that fame
promoting
into,
other people's stuff,
Yeah.
getting advertisers.
Why the fuck again would you nuke your own thing? And I think it's because human beings are weird, and they just have a thing where they just, some people just need to do it. They just need
Yeah.
to get it off their chest because, and you know, some people can't live with that kind of lie.
You shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
No, of course. You shouldn't. But if you're gonna, you go to the grave with that.
Sure, yeah.
You go to the grave.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
It's the devil's parlay you invite yourself to when you you create a persona that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that.
weird.
A lot of food accounts were lying about their food, lying about cooking the food. A lot of the mukbang accounts were lying about eating the food, which I thought was very strange.
Yeah.
That one really hit me. That one, I don't know. I don't watch mukbang videos. I don't care for. I don't care. I really don't like those videos. I really don't like watching people eat. You know, like professionals, food.
Sure.
You can watch like Man versus Food, but I mean like people who like gorge themselves.
Yeah. I saw one that forever made me go, I will never watch this kind of content ever again. It's the lady with the long nails.
Yeah.
That got into like the giant lobsters and the crab legs and stuff and dipped them in.
Yeah.
The sucking sound just
much,
made
yeah.
me.
It's so. When people, the ASMR is a very strange thing. It's strange. It's a strange thing.
It's strange.
I do have a thing with chiropractic videos. I do like back cracks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's satisfying, but that's because I know how satisfying it is.
Yeah.
I crack people's backs semi-professionally. And I have a lot of people in my life who I crack their back. They know I can crack their back.
I've seen it. I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had my back cracked before, so I know that it's a satisfying feeling. But food, I remember one real. I don't remember who the person was, but they were eating a what do they call it? A something duck, a flappy duck,
A Flappy Bird?
Oh no! Hold on.
Oh, a geoduck.
Is it a geoduck?
I think it's a
like
geoduck.
nasty, like
yeah, it looks like a wiener.
tongue-looking- Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was eating that.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw up."
Yeah. Those look. I mean, just immediately they look disgusting. So if someone eating it is yeah.
Ever seen
It's
somebody
weird.
try to
It's
eat
like
a blobfish?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
People eat blobfish?
Guess so.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
You can.
They're deep sea creatures.
Yeah, and they rip them from the deep sea
Oh.
to eat them.
Gross.
Make their faces all sad. Just
Who does that? Who would do
well,
that?
what else are you supposed to do with them?
Leave them alone.
Well, yeah.
Study them from afar.
I'm saying, but when they pull them from the ocean
Yeah.
and turn them into
blobfish soup.
blobfish, yeah. Ugh. So the food one was really strange to me because then, once one creator specifically, I don't remember her name. It was something like Baby Dumpling or something like that. And she posted, she was like, so the ban happens, it lifts almost immediately, and her very next video was like, ooh, when you admitted that your content was fake, and then you have to go back on that. And then the next video was like, when you were joking, but people don't get the joke. And then the video after that was her actually talking to the camera and being like, guys, I thought it was pretty clear that it was a joke, but Like I actually eat the food now.
The old. I was kidding.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, because then she says that, then she posts a video of her eating a bunch of dumplings, and she's like, the 20-minute video, you could slow it down if you want. I eat all of this, and it's like a sped up version of her eating whatever. Okay, but let's backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
And she's like, I thought it was obvious that I was joking. No, it wasn't.
Right.
Because I don't watch any of her content, but when I stumbled on this video, then it made me go back through her videos to see like what all the hubbub was. And I go back to the original joke, quote unquote, and it's just the meme that everybody else is doing. There's no wink to the camera. There's no like implication that it's a joke. It wasn't a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a liar. But after all of this gets revealed, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because people are still like, whatever.
I still like her.
And I just don't even, I mean, not that this person, I don't care.
Right.
Either
It doesn't
way.
matter. It's
Right.
not like.
So I'm not going to, it's not going to keep me up at night if she continues to fake eat dumplings or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. But, I mean, are there no consequences? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is TikTok just the land of who gives a fuck?
Well, and let me give a theory for you, if you will.
Please.
I think a lot of these creators who did out themselves for actually lying about something in their content or doing something terrible, I think a lot of them did it thinking that it's worth the risk and it will make them viral, at least for a moment.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of them, like, again, it makes no sense on face value. I'm not saying that nobody's dumb or crazy enough to nuke their entire persona and their online business because they think the one platform they love most is going away. However, I think the vast majority of people aren't either stupid or crazy enough to do that. And some of them probably did it for attention.
Yeah.
And they, they made the judgment call to say, yeah, this may piss a lot of people off, but you know what? I'm going to get a lot of new eyes on me, and I'm going to get a lot of attention, and I'm going to be able to backpedal on this because I know at the end of the day, nobody really cares that much if I'm eating all the food in the mukbang videos. So let's see where things land.
Yeah.
You know?
But then again, how on what platform were these people going to go viral on? If TikTok was actually banned and stayed banned.
Well, I think they knew that it wouldn't go away forever. I think, like us, they saw the writing on the wall and they're like, there's too much money to be made for it to go away.
Man. My theory is some of them are that dumb.
Oh yeah, no, I think some are. I'm saying I think the vast majority aren't. But maybe I'm just being charitable.
I think the ones who are that dumb thought, I'll say this on TikTok, but I'll continue doing my thing on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and nobody will. It's not like it's gonna travel from one app to the next. Because once I say this thing, I can admit to myself and to my fans a virtual diary, and then that'll be gone. That'll be locked away. No one will be able to access that video after the band goes live.
Yeah,
and then I can continue doing what I was doing on these other platforms.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that they were. I think some of them, and you're right. I mean, probably the majority of them aren't that stupid. Although I don't know, the jury's kind of still out on that. But I do think the people who are truly thought TikTok will die, and that will be it.
And my secret will die with it.
And no one will be able to see this video after the initial like couple 100,000 who saw it.
Yeah.
But who gives a fuck about them? I have 20 million followers.
But then
so
why
who cares?
Then why do it at all?
Because humans are weird. That's why. I mean, it's truly.
Tell your therapist. I don't know. Like talk to a priest.
That's what I'm saying.
Confess.
People need to confess things like that because they're holding on to these lies. They need to get it out. It's a burning sensation in their chest.
You got to tell
that
everybody.
tells them every day that like you're living a lie.
Yeah.
And you need to come clean.
Okay.
And then they do. And I'm sure a lot of these people felt like, I finally got that off my chest. And then they wake up the next day and they're going viral.
Hold up.
And they're like,
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. So like this baby dumpling, for instance, had to jump on and be like, guys,
It was a joke.
it was a joke, obviously. For the record, I don't believe any mukbang videos.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of them are eating that much food.
Okay.
I just don't. I think it's physically impossible to stay the size that like this girl is in like great shape.
Well, what about like Nick Avocado that
Well, he
ballooned
blew up.
Yeah.
He became like
Huge,
like
yeah.
a fat avocado, like
Yeah.
a massive
Yeah.
fat boy.
Yes, we get
Yeah.
it. We
No,
get
he
it,
was,
Marco.
He was just disgusting. You know, just like just no, okay. This has nothing to do with anything else. This is the fact that he ate himself to that size.
Yeah.
Okay. On purpose.
Into a health crisis multiple times.
This was not.
He's fine now. He lost a ton of weight.
I wouldn't say he's fine now.
Well,
Mentally,
maybe not mentally, but physically, he lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, and he had us all fooled
Oh yeah,
because he ate
Yeah.
himself almost to death and then didn't die.
you got us.
He got us.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He is very clearly eating that food.
Sure. Yeah.
but
He was not faking the funk.
But
very, very
the
clearly.
like the tiny Asian women who are like, I eat 20 dumplings, 6
Yeah.
rotisserie chickens. Like watch as I sit in my car and I eat the entire McDonald's menu. Bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Bullshit. Because you wouldn't
Right.
just get fat. I mean the health problems
have a
you would
heart
have
attack.
to endure like
Yeah.
it's just bullshit.
Unless you're like one of those uniquely special people who have an incredible what's it called? Metabolism. Yes.
But even if they did, the kind of food, the amount of food. I mean, I've talked about my 600-pound life before, and like the kind of stuff that they have to eat to maintain that size
Yeah.
is what these people are eating in these mukbang videos.
Sure.
Like they're eating the kind of food that The Rock eats on his cheat days.
Yeah, yeah.
But
The Rock
he's-
spends 20 hours a day at the gym.
Well, and he's also juiced to the gills. He's got to
Yeah.
keep that fucking,
Yeah.
he's got to keep that thing
Maintenance.
going.
There's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah. A lot of oil for that motor.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be clear, let me be clear. You're saying that because specifically the amount of videos they do back to back to back to back. Because I just want to let people know, because I hear you all screaming at home that, oh yeah, but like, professional eaters, competitive eaters.
I need a pro eater.
I need a pro eater. That guy's a real eater.
He's a real eater.
They can eat the amounts they do. Obviously, they're doing competitions.
Right.
And stay relatively normal looking, and most of them actually are like in great shape.
Yeah, and those dudes train year round.
Yeah.
To continue doing that, they're like professional eaters.
And are very scheduled in when they are competing.
Yeah.
What challenges they're doing, and how they build their lives around that, so they don't like see the health ramifications that a normal Joe Schmo would.
Or
if they
you
weren't.
can look at the guy who wins the lemonade drinking contest. Big guy. I mean, that dude looks like he just drinks lemonade. He doesn't look like he works on that. He just looks like he sits on a porch drinking gallons of lemonade.
Real drinker there.
He's a real
Yeah.
pro drinker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the juxtaposition. You're talking about like what's the Japanese dude?
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Yeah.
That dude he's shredded.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
like a 6-pack, 8-pack. He was, and he still lost
Yeah.
to the boy.
Yeah.
The man.
Joey. Mr. Chestnut.
So yeah, I mean, those dudes take it seriously. That's a whole other thing than just being a person who's like, almost a full week of eating a week's worth of food
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
There
content game.
There is literally nothing you can do other than me sitting in the passenger side of the car that you're filming in that would lead me to believe that you are not faking these videos.
Sure.
So I just want to, for the record,
Yeah.
there is absolutely nothing that these
Yeah.
people can do.
Don't even
that
try.
Don't even try.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Because that's what that girl was like. I filmed myself eating like 100 dumplings or whatever, and it was a super sped up video, and she's and a bunch of people were like, well, just show us the whole just show us eating the food. And she's like, you can slow it down if you're really that curious. And all these people were like, yeah, girl. And I was like, she's a liar. And if you're okay with her being a liar, which some people were,
Yeah. Yeah.
they literally would put in the comments like, I don't care that she lied.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I like her. She gives me ideas on what to eat, which was a very fascinating revelation.
Yeah.
And if that's your thing, then that's fine.
I respect it. You know, like if you're just watching someone for entertainment, you don't care like if they're being honest to you or not, then yeah, sure, who cares?
But what is entertaining about watching someone else eat?
I don't know.
I don't like watching other people. It doesn't like gross me. Like if I'm like with someone out and we're eating pizza or something, like
Yeah.
it doesn't gross me out to sit with a person and eat, but I'm not gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow, look at him scarf that down.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then when people watch me eat, I'm like, stop.
Well, you're a defensive eater. You eat like an abused dog. You bite somebody's finger off. Somebody gets too close.
I get weird with food. I think people are weird. Like this, like people will get too close to your food. I'm like, why are you so close? Just back up. You're breathing real hard. And It's like you're breathing over my bowl of food. Like why are you that close?
Yeah.
That's all. I just don't think you shouldn't be that close to me while I'm eating.
I think that's a middle child thing you got going on there.
Yeah,
a complex.
Because if somebody gets that close, they're trying.
They're
going
to take something. Yeah,
they're coming to take. So
Yeah,
just fucking back up.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, there's this. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. I don't care.
Yeah, you have to. You got to now.
It's nothing crazy, but there's a guy. There's a dude. There's a regular that comes into my job, and sometimes if I'm like eating something in the corner, just trying to like get something in my belly so I can get back to work.
Can I get a bite of that burger?
He doesn't ask for a bite, but he gets mad close and he kind of looks in, and I just want to fucking uppercut him. I'm just like, will you back off?
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean it,
I know.
but it's still, I'm like, just back up,
Yeah.
man.
Gets you a little defensive.
Yeah,
A little on edge.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I get it.
I
get it.
guess I have a weird thing with food.
Yeah. It's okay.
I know I have a weird thing.
It's okay.
It's all right.
This episode's about honesty.
We're revealing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that was like the long and short of it. It kind of just came back, and there was obviously a lot of TikTok. There was a lot of political ramifications for it coming back. And there was a lot of allusions to things and a lot of implications about what this means and what that means. And there was a lot of people who were like, there is something nefarious going on.
Yeah.
That is happening behind the scenes, and people need to pay attention.
Well, I think what underlined it for most people was seeing, I'm talking specifically about people who haven't been really paying attention, is seeing literally the head of every social media platform, major social media platform, and Jeff Bezos immediately in the second row behind Trump's family.
Yeah. It was very strange.
Yeah, at the inauguration. So if that doesn't paint the picture for you that whether you believe it's for nefarious purposes or not, or if it's good for America or it isn't, they are very clearly pledging allegiance to the current president. And does it make sense? Yeah, obviously. They want to rub-a-dub-dub with Mr. Trump.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
So, yeah, I get it. But it's also, at least for me, very scary. And the implications are very scary as well. Now, we won't get all into the politics of it, but I did see an interesting reaction that you were just kind of getting into between people saying, oh my God, thank you so much, Trump. And I didn't vote for you, but that's awesome that you did this for TikTok and us TikTokers. Mm-hmm. And then actually surprising amount of people, more than I thought, at least on my feed, saying this is very clearly a play. This is like, this is so obviously manufactured success for Trump. And the writing is on the wall. Like, you're not, like, it makes me feel like you think we're stupid, that you think we're not going to see what's happening here.
Right.
Like, it's so obvious. So, in a way I was like, maybe people do care about this. Because I was not expecting that after, the past 6 months we've had.
Yeah. No, I thought people were truly just going to be like, as long as it's back, I don't care. I think people, they've kind of really overvalued their time on TikTok and how much they gain from having the app. There's too many people who use it for everything. Like I saw, there was all these people kind of going viral when they were talking about it because there's just a lot of stupidity around, like, Like I saw one that was like, this girl was like, how am I going to find recipes? How am I going to know what to cook if I don't have TikTok? And it's like, anywhere else, cookbooks.
I was going to say, there are books for that.
Cookbooks.
Yeah. You don't even need the internet for it. You can just, go to a library. And
Ask
be like,
someone. Ask a friend.
Yeah. Talk to your mother.
Anything.
She's worried about you.
I bet and she knows how to cook.
She knows how to cook.
And she can tell you how to make these meals. Try harder. Just try harder.
Do something.
Just try a little bit harder.
Yeah. Well, everyone's lazy. So.
And TikTok just slipped right in
Yeah.
and filled that space.
Yeah.
It's like that the bit from Inception where it's like, the dreaming and the real world, and we get right in between there, and that's how we're able to do what we do. That's what TikTok has done. It slipped right into that medium of time where it's like, I have some free time. What am I going to do? Well, I could do one of my many hobbies. I could work out. I could relax. I could read a book. I could watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or I can eat up an hour and a half by scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I'm not being holier than thou here. I do the same exact thing.
Sure.
Sometimes I get done and then I have to go to work.
You're drenched in sweat, out of breath.
And I've realized that I've lost. It's like going into a void.
Yeah.
I just lost time. You just look around and you're like, it's dark out. What happened? And there's so many things. I'm like, in this year, I'm not one of these people that's like, I need to take a break from social media. But I am truly putting a concerted effort into, I need to work on actual stuff, music, focus on the podcast more. I've been writing some things, and I want to flesh those things out and really finish them, just to say that I did them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do those things because that hour of time where I could be like thinking of, how can I flesh out this idea, or how can I finish this song, or something like that. That's an hour of time that I'll never get back. That is dedicated to watching
nothing.
Bistro Huddy or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know going forward what any of this really means in the grand scheme of things.
We'll see. Everything's in motion right now. So.
Yeah. I think now we can kind of make real bets on what's going to happen.
Okay. Since you lost the other one.
No, I mean, like, it could still be a gentleman's bet, but I'm just saying, like,
okay.
a bet. Because this is like, now it's like, okay, something's got to happen. Something for real. They can't just keep punting it and punting it. There has to be some kind of stability.
Yeah. I know it's complicated because it, I believe, was a Supreme Court decision. So technically Trump can't overrule that by himself.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he can highly influence that decision to be made? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will be a tall task to, and mind you, look, I'm no legal expert here.
You're not?
I'm not.
You're not a legal expert.
I'm not a legal expert.
You didn't go pre-law.
I'm a mere man, a mere mortal. But, from my purview, I think that it's very clear based on his first day and a half. Trump doesn't really care about decorum. He doesn't care about protocol. He doesn't care about how things should work. So he'll find a way to put a round peg into a square hole, one way or another. Whether it's pressure, whether it's bribes, whether it's whatever, he'll find a way to make it happen, and to have his friends and himself, be the ultimate victors in the situation. So, I think there's still too much money to be made, too many deals to be had, and too many political wins to happen for TikTok to go away especially during Trump's first year as president. So I have zero doubts that it's going to stay around. It may be another arm of the MAGA party, just like Twitter is now. And we'll see how it changes. But I do think it's going to stick around. I don't think there's any chance of it going away.
No. I'm with you on that one. I don't think so either. And I think anybody that's cheering for any kind of government influence on the app. I don't want to get too political either, but the hypocrisy of it all is just so fascinating to watch.
And it's so blatant. Like, it's just so obvious that, like,
I mean,
what a lot of people are calling for is, like, North Korea-style propaganda.
Yeah. If there was, like, if all of the biggest names in tech were standing behind a Kamala Harris presidency, people would be losing their motherfucking minds.
Yeah.
It would be... I mean, it would be flooding. They would be like, "See, look at this. We told you that media is run by the left, and it's blah 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 blah." I don't want to get into it, but it's crazy.
Oh, look at Facebook. Look at the switch that happened immediately after Zuckerberg went on Rogan, and got cozy with Trump, like. And killed fact checking, like.
Dude, the one thing that really is crazy to me is I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but the fact that they're going to create AI accounts, or they already have, and are going to flood Facebook and Instagram with AI accounts. You don't know about this?
No. Why would you do that?
Excuse me.
What's the purpose?
I don't know.
Why are we making bots?
They have created thousands and thousands of actual bot accounts, and they're just going to turn them on, and then they're just going to flood Instagram and Facebook with bot accounts, basically, I guess, to like train their AI on real human interactions. But it's unclear on if they are going to reveal themselves or if they're like basically unethically experimenting on people.
Yeah.
I mean, they announced it so that we people are aware that they're going to do it, but there's no way to know, like, as the technology gets better, because right now AI images are pretty easy to spot, especially on like social media. Like, you see an account and it's just like it's too glossy and too weird and very easy. It's like, this is fake.
I will say, not easy for everyone though.
Well, it's definitely getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that's real, right? That person actually, and I can see how a lot of people are getting tricked by some of this stuff. But I mean, if you're around our age, obviously, we kind of have that eye for the uncanny valley right now. And also, if you've been on, dating sites, those have been filled with bots forever. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get used to a bunch of bot accounts.
Yeah.
I don't know what the purpose is.
Well, have they you said they announced this, so this is an official thing. That's not like a theory. Or...
No. This was from Meta, that like we are going to start experimenting with these AI accounts.
Well, I mean, they obviously want their AI to be the predominant one, and they have a captive audience with everyone on Instagram and Facebook.
But
so
what I don't understand is, I mean, why contribute to dead internet theory purposefully? Why I don't understand. What do you gain from muscling out all of the real people on your social media?
Well, they don't want to muscle people out. I think they want to make it. Okay, this is what I would think. I need to look up what you're talking about because I have obviously no idea about it. But without
crashing my laptop,
if I'm thinking about this right, I think that they would want to make it a seamless experience that you don't know that friend request is coming from a bot.
Yeah. That's basically what they implied.
So yeah, I wouldn't think they would have like an AI tag on these accounts, and just basically let their social media platform do the work for them.
All right, this was posted January 3rd on CNN, written by Allison Morrow. Meta scrambles to delete its own AI accounts after backlash intensifies. Meta promptly deleted several of its own AI-generated accounts after human users began engaging with them and posting about the bot's sloppy imagery and tendency to go off the rails and even lie in chats with humans. The issue emerged last week with Connor Hayes, vice president for Meta Generative AI, told the Financial Times that the company expects its homemade AI users to appear on its platforms in much the same way human accounts do. Quote, they'll have bios and picture and profile pictures and be able to generate and share content powered by AI on the platform. That's where we see all of this going.
So currently, it sounds like it's more of like a chat bot that people can choose to engage with, but they want it to be a indistinguishable like account on Facebook.
Right, but why? What? Basically, you want to create a Chat GPT, but give it a face.
Yes.
But why create hundreds of thousands of different accounts? Okay, as users began to sniff out some of Meta AI's accounts this week, the backlash grew in part because of the way that the AI accounts disingenuously describe themselves as actual people with racial and sexual identities.
Okay, I was wrong. No, they were already doing that.
In particular, there was Liv, the Meta AI account that has a bio describing itself as a proud black queer mama of 2 and a truth teller.
Okay.
And told Washington Post columnist Karen Attiah that Liv had no black creators. The bot said, "Get away from me, ad." The bot said it was built by 10 white men, 1 white woman, and 1 Asian male.
Okay.
According to a screenshot posted on Blue Sky. So an AI account revealed itself to be an AI account created by white men, white women, and an Asian man.
Yeah.
And it was purporting to be a black, gay mother of 2.
I'm a truth teller, honey.
Truth teller. So
Jesus Christ.
That is, I'm going to get off of this before my computer crashes, but that is where we are. That's exactly the issue.
Yeah.
And I don't understand I still am confused as to what you're saying makes sense, that their goal was to create basically chatbots on the platform, but to what end? To train their AI?
Yeah,
sure.
well, yeah.
But again, to me, if they're not revealing themselves as being, if the bio was Liv, queer black woman, a mother of 2, truth teller,
artificial human
AI, then you could go, okay, it's very, now I can kind of experiment with this thing, and it's like,
you gotta do the Blade Runner test on them,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
What is it?
You see a turtle upside down in the sun. What do you do?
And if she answers like, "Well, sugar," as a queer black woman, they're like, "Okay, enough." And so that's the scary part. Is obviously very, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
That is very
excited.
Clearly wrong, and it was sussed out immediately.
Yeah.
The problem is it's gonna get better.
Of course.
And with all of these, that's just the accounts that they were able to figure out. There's probably and now Meta's going and deleting these pages due to.
But are they
back? Well, yeah. I mean, I guess
are they saying they are and not actually?
That's a good question. Man. But it's just like some stuff I get worthless, no talent, bullshit tech bros who are like, I can now write, I can put, Sydney Sweeney in my favorite movie now because I can feed it into a prompt. And now
Art's dead, bro.
I get them on a level. I understand that like they'll never have a creative bone in their body.
Yeah.
And so the only way that they can live out their dreams of being creative, instead of putting in any amount of work, they're just going to use these
tools,
predictive tools and all this stuff. Like, I get that. Fuck you guys. What I don't understand is something like Meta. I get that they would want to train their AIs, but again, to what end?
Money. That's the only answer. Money over and over again.
But who profit? How do they profit off of that?
I mean, there are so many ways they could potentially profit in the future.
Yeah, I guess taking that technology and funneling it into other things once it's become strong enough to sell it.
Put it into anything.
Yeah.
And you have predictive AI that was trained and humanized by millions of people, knowingly and unknowingly. Not to mention if they're scraping, personal chats, if they're scanning your posts over the past 15 plus years.
Right. Well, if one of these chat accounts or chat bots is scanning your account and then they're coming up with ways to cleverly talk to you about your images and the things that you've done, and then you answer in kind, then they get smarter and smarter, and they understand, like, well, this picture means this thing, this person answered this way, so now I know how to answer this way even better, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, it's
Skynet.
Right. The thing is, like,
1, 2, 3, Skynet.
I don't trust them to not do that covertly already.
Yeah, they're definitely doing it now.
To put it in the fine print even. Or to not say it at all at this point because, Trump's president and the regulations have gone down.
Yeah.
And that's the entire plan is, like, just make as much money as you possibly can.
Remember when Zuckerberg had that, like, moment where people were like, he might actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing jujitsu and he's getting in shape, and his opinions seem to be kind of right on some stuff.
He got a perm. He found some chains.
Yeah, he's like Puerto Rican now.
Yeah.
There was like that 5 minutes where people were like, I don't know.
Well, it was just before the inauguration.
Maybe Zooks.
It was just before the inauguration.
Yeah.
And
it was a little before that. Because the Rogan thing.
Right before Rogan. Rogan was really the first sign. It was, I guess not the first sign, but, when people started to be like, huh?
Well, he already, he had that, he sucked. Then he started to not suck. He zucked. And then, and now he's back to zucking.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
Depends on your perspective, man.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where all of this stuff goes.
Yeah.
I think no matter what side of the aisle you tend to sit on, you should be afraid of this kind of stuff. This should frighten you. Just because some of this stuff seems to be on your team right now, doesn't mean that you're safe.
They are not on your team. I want to make that clear. They're on the team of making as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And usually at your expense.
Yeah.
So.
And it was like that before, and it's like that now. I don't know why anybody thinks that it's any different.
Well, the entire idea that this new party coming in is not for the elites, I think it bursts into flames again when you see who was there.
Yeah,
when Trump was sworn in.
Yeah, we're already past that idea. I think most people are like,
if you can't wrap your head around that, you are lost, brother or sister. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
and to people's credit, I've seen even a lot of conservative people going, don't like that so much.
Yeah,
but here we are.
But cheap eggs.
Not yet.
Well, one day.
Maybe.
It's part of it.
Sure.
It's cheap eggs.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
We'll be all right. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about some lighter stuff. Right?
Sure.
Let's talk about Drake.
Yeah.
Let's talk about his I don't even know what the fuck, man.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. No, I do.
I don't want to be around anymore.
No, I'm trying to get a handle on. I'm over the last thing. I'm trying to get a handle on this thing now. I'm trying to figure out where to start with this thing, because this guy has really, and his fans too. It is pretty similar to the previous topic in that
there's
the
lots
fan
of
base, is like it's hard to, you can't even talk to certain people about this kind of stuff, because it's like, are you hearing yourself? Are you seeing what's going on, and you really still think that this is the fucking guy?
Yeah.
Okay. You have something pulled up. You take it away, so
okay.
Kind of give the people some context.
All right. So where we left this off, the whole Drake conversation, the Drake and Kendrick conversation was, Drake was preparing to sue UMG and was also kind of dancing around the idea of a defamation lawsuit.
Right.
Nothing had officially been filed. It was a pre-filing
Motion,
I believe. Yeah. Again, not
a
lawyer.
legal expert.
Yeah. But things have changed. So Drake decided to drop everything and then immediately file a lawsuit to UMG.
Yeah.
For allegedly promoting Kendrick's Not Like Us to the detriment of Drake.
Yeah.
And the legal sort of high ground that he seems to try to put himself on in this lawsuit is that these are defamatory statements being said about him that are untrue. And UMG helped promote and essentially viralize, if that's a word, those allegations.
Right.
So including that he's a PDF file,
Pedophile.
that he likes them young.
He likes him young.
I heard you like them young,
Heard you like him young.
amongst plenty of other
He
things.
said that OVO stood for other vaginal option.
Excuse me?
Oh my God. Have you read some of the stuff in
Yeah.
the...
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get
Well, I
to
saw Fantano's video about it too, which is funny.
It's the best.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the best.
But yeah, it is spelled out in the lawsuit filing. Essentially, all of the defamatory lines in the song, which is just really funny.
Yeah, it's
to
just
read.
great.
It's along
great
with
to-
explanations for why
Right.
they're defamatory and why they're not true, or et cetera, et cetera.
You really have to read it. If you haven't done yourself the favor
Good
of
stuff.
reading it, it's great
Good stuff.
because the legalese mixed with the lyrics
A diss
and
track.
then them trying to explain why this is defamatory and trying to contextualize what each line means is so funny.
Yeah,
I loved it.
yeah, yeah. It's baffling. You know, we talked about it last time, but Drake continues to do everything he can to remind people that he lost this battle.
Yeah.
And
I for one don't really understand the end game, and maybe this is my own problem. I can't really see the forest for the trees for anything anymore, and I can't see the long-term goal of anything. I guess maybe just life has become a way where it's like I don't get it. I can't.
it's been a long month.
It's been but I cannot for the life of me understand what he thinks he's gonna gain. Even if, by some slim chance, he wins this lawsuit.
Sure.
And let's say he bankrupts UMG. Let's say he
Yeah.
takes over Universal Music. Let's say in Drake's world, UMG becomes owned by Drake because he was right. They did illegally prompt some of this stuff and yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's say, for the record, it's not true. But whatever. Let's just say for the record, it is true. And they used illegal methods and they were plotting with Kendrick to bump up the numbers on Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Even if all of that stuff is true, you know how much of a bitch you still look like?
Oh, yeah.
To be suing over a diss record?
Well, and then, I mean, it's almost too on the head. Like, if someone were writing this as a, like, TV show or movie script, it would be too obvious.
Yeah.
But the fact that the song is called Not Like Us, and you're doing something unprecedented in hip-hop music, suing for defamation, or on the basis of defamation, because a guy said something that wasn't nice about you and that you're saying is untrue after you were engaging in this rap battle.
Right. And don't let facts get in the way of any of your feelings or opinions on this. Drake was the one who was like, they ain't got nothing to drop. Drop. They prompted this. They went back and forth. The methods that they're accusing UMG of using, if they did use all of these I saw someone arguing that they literally said this and they were being for real. They were like, the kind of methods that UMG was using for Kendrick, they were promoting a song against their own artist. If they use those same methods to promote one of Drake's singles, that's different because they're helping him with his single.
Okay.
But if they use those same methods to help an artist who is also signed to UMG, which I don't think a lot of people I don't know if they're just glossing over the fact that both of these artists are
on the same
I think
label.
the real issue that people need to be having is that the fact that like one parent company owns like 85% of all music. That's the real issue here. If Drake was on like Atlantic, if Atlantic was like a bigger label and he was suing UMG, that might be a little bit different of a story because you could at least say that the competitor used illegal means to pump up this record. As it stands, you are accusing your own company of helping someone who also works for your company, not your company, for the same company,
Right.
of trying to defame
the one
you.
who licenses both of your songs.
Yeah, to defame you for what? Why would they take money out of their own pockets both ways to pay to pump up his numbers and to also lose you as a client?
Yeah. I will say they, of course, wanted this beef to continue as long as it was profitable. So, of course, they're going to – I mean, UMG has it in their best interest to promote the hell out of both of their diss tracks.
Right.
So,
Which is what they did.
right.
So if he can again, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he has the evidence, but if he can prove that they used illegal, nefarious means to pump up Not Like Us and to, kind of denigrate his records, I mean, maybe there's something he could stand on there from a legal standpoint, but from a reputation standpoint,
Yeah.
his career is essentially over. I'm
As a hip hop artist,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that his career is over. As a respected, reputable MC, it's over.
No, he can't ever claim to be that again.
No. Anytime he ever gets on a record and ever talks tough ever again, most people are just gonna be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Sue him?"
Right.
Like that's it.
Right.
That's what
Right.
everyone. That's the response now.
Well, and
you
then-
cannot come back from this.
At least with the initial the initial filings before the actual lawsuit came out that he ended up dropping was framed within the realm of like, I'm doing this to protect artists from streamers and
Right.
because it's about Spotify and whatnot.
There was at least some kind of plausible deniability there, which was like
I'm doing it for everyone else. It's
And
not
there
for
was a
me.
lot of people who came to his
Right.
side and was like, "You don't see the vision, man. This is bigger."
It's
than
4D chess. It's 4D chess.
But now,
he dropped that and said, "What about me?"
and then the people who were defending that are still defending. They're like, "Yeah, but this ain't no street shit. This is about getting money." He's trying to you trying to take money out of his pocket. He's not no gangster. Why?
Then he
would
shouldn't have been throwing subliminals out for the past 10 years.
Exactly. You don't get to play both sides of the street, bro. You don't get to not be a street guy when it matters, and then when it doesn't matter, you can turn around and be like, if I see you, blah, 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 I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing. You don't get to be that guy.
No. Cry bully.
Yeah.
You're being a cry bully.
Yeah. And that's in hip hop especially. I don't believe in the fact that like everybody has to be 100% authentic all the time.
Of course
hip hop,
not.
they
Of
are a bunch
course
of
not.
liars. I get it.
It's artistic, it's part of creating a persona and a story.
Right.
All that. That's
Right.
all fair play. Especially if you're going for diss records.
Yeah.
Like, of course you're going to say stuff that isn't true. You want to make that person look as bad as possible.
Yeah, but a diss record, when you're beefing with somebody, whether it's serious or whether it's just for the records, there is a little bit of authenticity in the stuff that's talked about that goes along with the songs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is, you can't be a known liar lie on a record and win a battle.
No.
If you and another guy are going back and forth, the stuff that you're saying on the record, most people are going to say, okay, they're going to judge it on the merits of what you're saying, right? So if you are in a beef and instead of saying like, the next time I see you, it's on site, and that's part of the record, well, it's a beef. It's a diss record, right? So there is a bit of that people are going to go, well, if they find themselves in the same place and he doesn't do anything, yeah. So then, okay, instead, let's keep it to jokes. You make jokes and everybody's like, oh, it's a funny record, it's entertaining.
What I mean more so is like more of the side of I fucked your mom.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed
and that kind
to,
of stuff is like, we all know that that's not true.
Sure.
Unless
it is.
The implication is that it is true, and that's that's another level.
Well, the truest lines in a diss record cut the deepest,
right?
Obviously,
right.
Because they don't need us to know that it's true to hurt the other person.
Right.
The other person knows that it's true.
Right.
Well, it's just like, you know, the subliminals that Jay-Z used to do. You know what? You know who?
He was a master at it.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Us as civilians on the outside, not knowing the people involved, could still hear that and be like, ooh.
There was something there.
Or whenever like names are edited out.
Yeah.
Or certain like sections of a verse are edited out. You're like, ooh, what was that about?
Right. You know that the person hearing it is going, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that level that adds a kind of edge to the record. So when you have Drake and Kendrick, Drake, he said a lot of inflammatory shit. People seem to forget that he claimed that Kendrick was beating his wife,
right,
and that his kids wasn't his, and all kinds of crazy shit. So you get to say all that. He turns around and says that you like little girls.
Yeah. With a history of very suspect things that he's done.
Yeah.
That he has done.
But let's say, okay, let's take both of those things out of it for a second. Let's say Drake did hear through the grapevine that Kendrick was beating his wife.
Okay.
And that's the reason that he does that he puts that in the record. I mean, both of those things are very, very inflammatory, illegal things to be doing.
Sure,
in both instances.
Yeah.
However you judge them, that's whatever. But the hypocrisy of going, how dare you? How dare you imply or straight up say that I'm a pedophile?
Right.
And not turn around and be like, but the stuff that I said, I was clearly lying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Again, I was joking.
So if you want, there's going to be discovery for all of this shit.
Of course, yeah.
So you can't have it both ways. And that's what Drake wants. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just so, I mean, I hesitate to say disappointing because, like, it's not like I didn't have him in very high regard.
But it is, though, because we talked about this before, and, you know, both of us were fans of Drake's music.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, specific eras. Like, I didn't love all of it, but the stuff I liked, I really liked, and I thought was really good. And he's, you know, say what you will, but he's a good performer. And
He's good. He's a good artist. He makes good music.
And, you know, I would venture to say it is disappointing. I wanted him to go away for a while and come back, and it would be fine.
Just make good. He could have. I mean, he really could have just let it go, man. Like, people lose battles all the time.
Sure,
Could have just taken that L.
The career was not over with Not
over.
Like Us.
No.
Just go away for a while, come back with a new #1 hit,
and
you're fine.
Because the thing is, the Suspect stuff that he's done throughout the years, for instance, that stuff was pretty well known stuff that a lot of people just kind of look the other way.
It's nothing new.
Yeah.
And mind you, look, he's never been accused of anything concrete. He's just been creepy.
Yeah.
And people have found a pattern with him that he tends to hang around younger ladies. And that is shady.
Yeah.
But, you know, as of the point of this recording, we don't know anything for sure that he did anything criminal or reprehensible enough for us to go, can't listen to Drake anymore.
Right.
So he still could come back
Could have.
From this situation, but he continues to dig himself deeper and deeper and deeper, and I don't understand. Is it an ego thing? Is it just a lack of people around him that can actually hold him accountable and be like, look, this has gone too far.
Yeah.
You lost. Let it go.
I think I don't know, dude. I'm still wrestling with like what he sees as a victory here.
How does this end? Like, I would love to hear from him. How do you see yourself winning this situation?
No. What he's gonna do is continue to go on streams with people like XQC,
Sure,
and bet on roulette and shit and pretend like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
There's that one clip of him with I think it's Aiden Ross, and Aiden Ross is like, oh, hip hop is dead, bro, and he's like, nah. Hip hop's not dead. It's fine. It's fine. And it's like, I don't know, bro. It's just if you're not out, streets it's just not hot. Nothing's popping off. And he's just like, well, you know. And it's like, you went on this dude's stream. He said to your face, hip hop is dead, and you just were like, no. How can you ever like? I hate to sound like an old head, but how can you respect this man?
Right.
How can you love hip hop and also love Drake? Like, if you don't love hip hop and you love Drake, that's fine. But you cannot sit here and tell me to my face that you love hip hop, you love rap music, you love the culture, and you also love Drake. He's done nothing for the culture.
Right.
And he continues to do the exact opposite. He continues to just shit on the shoulders of the people that he's standing on to have all of this success.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this article that you wanted to...
Well, you saying that reminded me that I actually heard from Voice of the Past, Joe Budden, and sort of his take and, you know, his other cohort's take on this entire situation, specifically framed around, you know, his semi-leaked, air quotes, freestyle. That involved, you know, some subtle digs and allegations obviously pointing towards LeBron James.
Right.
And his feelings being hurt because he was super close with LeBron. He's got LeBron tatted on him.
So weird.
And LeBron James was
James
seen dancing to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And that really got in Drake's fifis.
Now, okay, I will say that would hurt. If somebody that I considered a friend was dancing to a diss record about me, I would be like, fuck that guy. The last thing I would do is be like, I can't believe you did this to me. We was homies. Also, I know you cheated on your wife, and I'm going to tell everybody.
Well, and that was the conversation to be had on that show, was like, where essentially, and it's funny, I'm laughing because they end the segment by saying, this is not to condone cheating. But they're like, where's the bro code? Like,
right.
I think Joe is like, you know, there's some people I've fallen out with that I straight up like despise, that I would never be friendly with in the rest of my lifetime, that I've completely fallen out from. And I know some terrible things that they've done.
Rory and Mal.
Yeah. I've known some terrible things. I've seen some terrible things. Would I ever talk about that kind of stuff to anyone else in order to hurt them? No, of course not.
Right.
Of course I wouldn't do that, because that's a bitch move. You don't do that. You don't do that.
It's pathetic.
And the point in saying that was like, Drake doesn't know those rules and doesn't abide by those rules, as has been displayed time and time again.
Yeah.
He's a very messy person.
Yeah. Well, there's people that I have interacted with. There's people that I know personally who move similarly. And it's like, how did you not learn the same lessons that I learned growing up?
Right.
Especially like, they move a certain way and it's like, hey,
why are you doing that?
What are you doing over there? Yeah. That's not what
right.
You do. That's not how we do things.
It's not right. We live in a society.
And yeah, so to see Drake move the way that he does, it's clear, but it's also very surprising that like he didn't grow up well, and you see those old videos of him, for instance, and you know, I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with you know, he grew up. And he was like this corny Canadian kid, and he kind of grew into who he is now.
Yeah.
And listen, we all grow into who. I mean, if you saw old videos of me doing the Hadouken and to the camera, and my mom's like, "Do it again, do the Street Fighter again." I was a baby, I was a child, and I did childish things.
I see nothing wrong with that, personally.
And you just but the problem is, it seems like that little piece of him never left.
Right.
And that corny, like cornball ass Canadian guy
Yeah.
is who he really is.
Right. And this is all just a facade.
All the rest of it is the fake shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this is all in the in the shadow of the fact that this is all based on a hit song, a movement that is not like us.
Yeah.
So with that framing, like it feels like Kendrick really hit a nerve.
Yeah.
And really exposed something that was there the entire time. And it feels, at least to me, and I asked this question just a couple minutes ago, but like why does Drake continue to do this? And I think it is a lot to do with the fact that he really was hurt
Yeah.
by what happened. So, yeah. You're fine, Sherry. I was in the middle of getting to my point, but if you need to interrupt the show... No, you're fine. You're fine. Sherry
I
needs
mean,
to... We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah,
we're going to... There's not much more to say on it. Thank you.
How are we going to get to that? You never...
Sherry never watched Degrassi.
That show sucked.
Yeah.
I grew up with some people who were like, who watched that.
Watch Saved by the Bell like a man.
My ex was Canadian. She watched it.
Hey?
And yeah, that show sucked.
Yeah.
Degrassi sucked.
Yeah.
I don't... The people who were like, who even knew him as Wheelchair Jimmy, I knew who he was.
Is that what his name?
Yes.
Yeah, his name's Jimmy on the show, and he got shot, and he got paralyzed, and that's a whole plot point in the show.
Why would they shoot the one black kid?
You know why.
Yeah. It's really not cool.
It was like a school shooting thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the nerd was like, I think he thought he was talking shit about him or something. And he was like, "Hey man, I'm your homie." And I think he
You don't
felt
have to do
betrayed.
this.
And he like turned around and tried to run, and he shot him in the back. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the show, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he has to like adapt to life in a wheelchair. So, I mean, that's when people were making fun of Drake.
Yeah.
In the show, he wasn't called Wheelchair Jimmy.
No. He was just Jimmy.
Yeah. No.
No.
He wasn't. He was like the popular kid in the show, and he was like a basketball player and all this stuff. And then he had to learn how to live.
He was the jock.
Yeah. I didn't watch the show. I didn't watch the show either.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. Just thought it was a dumb show. It's a dumb show.
Yeah.
I don't like young adult stuff anyway, though. I think I've made that point pretty clear. Even when I was a young adult, I didn't like watching stuff that was like geared towards me specifically. Huh?
Clarissa Explains It All.
Well, Clarissa Explains It All was like a 90s show.
Yeah.
So I wasn't old enough to... That was
We
old.
were.
That was...
Yeah, we were kids. We were too young for Clarissa. Technically, I only watched it because my older cousin watched it.
Yeah.
And she was the perfect demo for it.
And I like comedies that were based
Are You Afraid of the
around
Dark?
us. Are You Afraid of the Dark is awesome.
Yeah. Canadian.
It is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They filmed in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I liked, Smart Guy, My Brother and Me.
He's a smart guy.
Shows like that. Sister,
Sister was good.
Fresh Prince, obviously. Like
Sure.
stuff that, it dealt with young adult stuff, quote unquote, but it was in a funny way. I don't like dramatic young adults.
More of a sitcom style.
Yeah, because they're just not good. They're not good enough actors, first and foremost. See, you're wasting time here, but you asked for
It's
this.
true.
You asked for this.
Best young adult show, Buffy.
I don't know. I didn't watch Buffy.
Yeah.
But I'll take your word for it because
Yeah, but that's like more of a sketch
young adult
comedy
sketch show.
Yeah.
You'd say that was the best? All that? Best young adult show that I ever watched.
Daria?
Daria.
I think that's more of a teenage show.
I don't know. If we're counting Fresh Prince, then I'm going with Fresh Prince.
Fresh
if
Prince,
we're counting that as like a young adult
I count
show.
that as more of a sitcom.
I don't. So then I don't have an opinion on young adult shows because I didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Move forward.
Yeah.
Oh, also, one more thing. Drake got banned from commentating on the Raptors
Why?
because of what he said about DeRozan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. He's
Yeah.
royalty out there.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
No. So,
Can't do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's gone out sad.
the thing
I don't know
is,
what
he
to say about it.
he cultivated this cult of personality that still works for his fan base.
Yeah.
Now, let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
He is still massively, massively popular.
Of course.
None of this stuff is going to deter his fan base in the same way that the Chris Brown stuff doesn't stop Chris Brown fans from supporting him.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So when we say that his career is over, we don't mean from a pop culture standpoint. Drake will survive this from a pop culture standpoint. But
As long as he makes good music.
yeah, for sure. Or even
more music, I should
yeah,
say.
really, honestly, because if we're calling a spade, Chris Brown hasn't made good music in like 20 years.
Careful.
Really.
Careful.
I mean, they're gonna come for me, but I'm ready because I don't know if you guys know this.
You don't want to listen
know
to 40 songs?
I already did. I listened to his entire discography, so my opinion on this is valid. I did an experiment. I don't know. I guess I never told you. Maybe I did an experiment because I was talking a lot of shit about Chris Brown, cash shit online. And then I was like, well, you know what? All these people keep telling me that he's better than Michael Jackson, but I will say I've only listened to like his first 2 albums. So, all right, let's give these people the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go through
far more than what most people do.
yeah, but I'm a psycho.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that you know, this gets me up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I listened to his entire discography, and what I came away with was he has garnered some sort of level of infamy through his fan base that they will just kind of look the other way on mostly a mediocre discography.
Yeah.
It's not bad. He doesn't make bad music. I don't think any of his songs were bad.
Right.
But he just, especially in the latter half of his career, 30, 40, 50 song releases where his fans were like, nobody is putting out 50 track albums. And it's like, you know why? Because it's bad, dude. It's too much music.
There's a reason.
Can you imagine listening to 50 songs that were just
No.
That make you want to put a bullet in your eye.
15 is probably my cap.
15 mediocre songs, you could still come away with it and go, album was okay.
Yeah.
50 of them?
Maybe there's 10 good songs in there. And 5 that are...
And I will say, that's true.
Yeah.
On these Chris Brown albums, you could pluck out 7 or 8 where you go, just make an 8 song album.
Yeah.
And you got yourself a really good album here.
Right.
But instead, you know, because there's no care for what you're doing and there's no real, you know, love for the game, you just pump out 50 R&B songs.
Well, and that's part of the advertising for it too, right? It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's this massive album.
huge.
How do you perform that discography?
You don't.
He's got hundreds and hundreds of songs now.
You'd be dehydrated by the end of
Rappers used to make like 200-300 songs, and people would be like, oh, T.I., he recorded 300 songs for his new album, and then you get, you know, he would choose the 12 to 15 best songs, and you go, these were the best ones. And
How did that happen?
and that's what people used to do. You didn't get to hear the whole vault because the vault was filled with garbage.
Sure.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you heard every single song that these guys did? If somebody released and that's what Drake did with the 10 gigs thing. He just released a bunch of bullshit, and it came and went.
Yeah.
And that because you don't do that, man. Nobody like if you care about your music and you care about how it's perceived and what it is, what it actually is, you don't do stupid shit like that.
You know, I hate to say it, but Mac DeMarco lost me with that too.
No, for real.
You know, like I listened to like 5 to 10 songs on that giant ass upload that
I
he
was
did,
never getting through that.
and I was like, all right, I've had enough.
No, I was never getting through that. I did listen to some of the songs that had titles. But all the
That helps.
timestamp stuff, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing this.
Right.
Oh. So yeah, there was a point that I was making about the before the Degrassi thing happened,
Okay.
which was, I'll just say this and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
The point that I was making was that like he will still be massively popular.
Sure.
But when you're talking about hip hop and you're talking about the greatest rappers of all time and you're talking about reputable MCs, which is what he wants to be, whether you believe this or not, you can take it or leave it. Or you can look at the evidence and you can look at the people that he says are his favorite rappers and you can ask him, and when he tells you that Fonte is one of his favorite rappers and you go, who's Fonte? That's your fucking fault.
Yeah.
And that is evidence of the fact that he does want to be respected. That's why you engage in battles with people like Kendrick.
And that's why you put on this persona to begin with, is like you want to be accepted by this specific thing. And you can psychoanalyze that until the crows come home, cows come home.
Dogs come home.
Chickens come home.
Cats come home.
Chickens come home to roost.
The chickens come home to roost.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We got there. But I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to speak for all of hip hop, but I will say I agree with you. I think he's lost the culture. And it's only underlined by the fact that he's making this lawsuit a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes from here. But
I don't think anything good for him.
I got to agree.
All right. I think we're there, right?
Yeah, we're definitely there.
Okay. Before we get out of here, you know, we have two things to do. And the first and foremost is whether we talk for 3 to 4 hours about the most negative thing on the planet, we have to end with an upswing, and that is the cheers of the week.
The crows have to come home.
They have to come home to roost.
Yeah.
The crows come home to roost.
Caw!
So I have a feeling, I really do feel pretty confident about what we're going to.
You want to do it on 3?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. David Lynch.
Yeah.
I mean, just an incredible loss this past week, and yeah, another one of those rare celebrity deaths that actually like hurt my heart a little bit. I knew he was sick. I knew he wasn't in good health. Had emphysema due to lots of cigarette smoke, but I wasn't expecting him to go so soon. I was kind of hoping that we'd have at least one more picture or project from him.
Yeah. Some like late stage thing that he could get done.
Yeah. And maybe that was just wishful thinking, but you know, it's sad to see him go, especially so close to his birthday. It was just shy of 79, and you know, people speculate that the California wildfire situation didn't help his health because he had to evacuate apparently.
Yeah.
But all I have to say, I mean, leaves just an incredible vacuum of creativity and just a unique mind of which I don't think we will ever see again. And you know, a lot of people kind of brush off his work as pretentious and artsy fartsy and with no purpose or meaning, but I, for one, and I can see that perspective, but I, for one, have always been attracted to that about him and about his work, is that it's unknowable, but also at the same time so down to earth. And I think that was really him in a nutshell, from what I was able to glean from the man, from watching many an interview and behind the scenes and all that, and his work itself. I'm obviously a big fan of his. That he was this like one of a kind mix of like Midwestern, humble, down to earth, brass tacks, not overly like flamboyant man, but also had this absolutely unique mind and was able to bring dream and nightmare to film like no one else could. So I really do think he was a one of a kind, and I don't think we're ever going to see another David Lynch in our lifetime or ever. I think he was a unique one of one creative, and I for one am glad that I was around for his work to be able to see it.
Yeah.
So
I think that he was just so earnestly weird that you couldn't help but just immerse yourself in what the thing was.
yeah.
And I think that anybody who thought or criticized his work for being like too maybe highbrow or pretentious just didn't get it. And I don't mean that to sound pretentious. I just think that there's an idea of like sometimes there's an artist and there's a vision and there's a feeling to the project that you go, this can't be anything but like he just genuinely thought that people would enjoy this. Like not
I don't even think that. I think a lot of his, especially his most difficult pieces of work, were things that he clearly needed to get out of his mind.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the audience. I think most of his work had nothing to do with the audience. I was watching it. It had a lot to do with him, his emotions, his feelings, his dreams, and getting that put on something.
Yeah.
And he was so good at that.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's what leads to him not being pretentious, actually, is that he didn't really care. It was like, you may not understand, you may not get it. I'm not going to explain it for you.
Right.
It's just what I felt like doing. You
Yeah.
know, like, and that purity is something that I really admire of his. Because there are so many people that are like, yeah, actually, the reason why the donkey ate the corn in that scene was because he was really thinking of his mother. But David Lynch would never do that.
Right.
Like people would try and be like, does Mulholland Drive actually mean this about Hollywood? And he'd be like, yeah,
Right.
Figure it out.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, yeah, especially I think you glean a lot of information from his interviews, even though he's like kind of weird and cagey about the message of the movies. The way that he talks about them, there's like just this humility to them, and there's just like this, I just did it because I thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
And maybe he thought, not maybe, it's very clear he thought more deeply about it than that, but there is just something very, I don't know, attractive about the idea of just like, I just needed to say this thing. I needed to do this. So however you interpret it is beautiful.
Yeah.
If you liked it or you loved it, both of those, as long as it elicited an emotion,
Yeah.
then you felt it on some level. And that's what art is.
Yeah. He always made stuff that made you feel. Maybe not understand, but made you feel something implicitly.
I think about the first season of Twin Peaks specifically.
Yeah.
When I think about like a weird earnestness.
Yeah.
Of like this is a man's like every influence smashed together, and this is the only way that he knew how to put that out, to turn that into art from himself.
Well, and then even more interestingly with Twin Peaks, channeled through the sort of traditionalism of Mark Frost, and him being able to like anchor David Lynch's dreamlike vision into a procedural,
Right. Right.
and I love that. That's why, like, for me, Twin Peaks is my favorite David Lynch thing. And I think it's because of that collaboration and seeing David Lynch's like untethered creativity filtered in a way that I found, and them being sort of opposites in a way, and that working so well. I think everything he's done that I've seen has had some like merit for existing and an example of what you can do. Wait, Sherry has another note here. What? Lightsaber, 6:05 p.m. night. Yeah, sure.
You needed an answer right now.
Do you, she also said she needs 2 cookies and a Coke.
From us?
No, the David Lynch reference.
Oh.
Yes.
God.
2 cookies and a Coke.
All right.
Anywho,
I guess we're done because Sherry decided
it's
that
fine.
this is,
It's fine.
you know.
It's fine.
Let's one more cheers to David Lynch.
To David Lynch.
All right. Let's very quickly review this beer because
Okay.
Sherry needs to make a phone call.
Okay. Yes.
And God forbid we finish this episode without that phone call being made. So
It needs to be done.
it's
What
got-
can I
it
say?
must be done. This thing needs to be booked, dude. We got to figure this out. Okay.
Night photos? Question mark?
Question mark. So from Hourglass Brewing, Hourglass Brewing, trash.
I'm speaking. I'm
the
speaking.
trash Tanuki.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a porter brewed with salted caramel and peanut butter.
6% ABV.
It's a collaboration with Jasmine. Shout out to Jasmine again.
Jazz.
Jazzy.
Shout out to Jazzy.
So, what you think?
I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Now,
Liked it a lot.
I'm conflicted only because I don't get a lot of that caramel and salt. But it is, and it may just be because we haven't had a porter in a while, but
Yeah.
I really like how it tastes. It tastes really good.
Okay,
But
okay.
it tastes like a really good regular porter.
Yeah.
I'm not getting the flavor. So for that, I got to cut it down.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 5. I really enjoy this porter, but because you don't get the flavors that they're talking about in this, I got to go to 4.5.
Yeah.
I still really enjoy it. I think it's, especially if you're a fan of porters and brown ales, things of that nature, I think this is up your alley. Get it while you can.
Yeah.
Very drinkable, good flavor, but I'm not getting the peanut butter. I'm not getting the caramel. I'm not getting the salt.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. The flavor profile is a little muddied.
yeah.
It is just malty,
Yeah.
kind of bready.
Stinky.
You do get a little caramel. There's a bit of a saltiness, I guess. It's there, but it's subtle. It's too subtle. I picked this because knowing Hourglass, I kind of was expecting it to be really fucking like sweet and peanut buttery.
Yeah.
I love peanut butter. I'm like Ed the horse. I'll just eat it by the spoonful. I love peanut butter.
I do the same.
So
Yeah.
I was just really hoping and expecting it to be like a more flavorful
Yeah.
beer, and it just wasn't. That's not to say that it tastes bad. To your point, it does taste good, but it is just kind of a muddied, malty, slightly sweet porter. So
Yeah.
for that, I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay.
So 3.5 and a 4. Or
4.5.
4.5.
Give 4.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5 for me. 4.5 for Obesius. Think we got it?
I know we got it.
Did we got it?
We got it.
Yay!
This has been the One Beer In Podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Yeah. Let's get that phone call.